Morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes. Hope you're good. It is Saturday. It's 8:45. Welcome to FPL Talk, Part 42. Oh yes, it's been a week. Wow, hasn't that gone really quickly? But there we go. This week is a fun one, isn't it? Really, for us FPL lovers out there. There is no fantasy, no Premier League, no fixtures like that going on. It is international break, and obviously England were on yesterday and won 2-0 against Albania. From my perspective, and just a football perspective, was a bit. It was all right, wasn't it? It wasn't the greatest football match in the world, but it was decent. It was okay. We won 2-0, and it's Tuchel's first ever game in charge of England, so we'll see how that goes. Big night for Lewis Skelly, wasn't it? Who scored a great goal. Kane obviously scoring as well. Thought Dan Burn did really well, and the reason I'm mentioning these players in particular, not Kane necessarily, but the other two, is because of fantasy, obviously, because these two guys are in the fantasy Premier League choices for your team. So yes, consider them maybe because they're in great form, performing well and doing great, aren't they really? So we have international break. That means that there's no Premier League fixtures, and that allows myself, and I don't know about you guys out there as well, to start looking at what we're going to do going forwards even more further down the line. I've spoken about chips before in the past, all the fantasy chips that are available, and that's what I've started to do. So this particular part 42, we'll be looking at that after we've had a look at my scores. So without further ado, I will get you guys seeing what I see as always. First, we'll start off with looking at the fixtures. So we did have Premier League fixtures, didn't we? Game week 29 on the 15th of March, so a week ago, we did have some games. Obviously, my part 41 was done prior to this, so I'll go over the fixtures really quickly now and the results. Everton drew 1-1 with West Ham. O'Brien scored and Soucek for West Ham. Ganna got the assist and Bowen got the assist of West Ham. 2 bonus points for O'Brien, 3 for Soucek and 1 for Ganna. It's kind of what I expected. Both of those teams pretty decent, pretty solid and okay form at the moment. Ipswich versus Forest. A bit surprised Ipswich managed to score a couple of goals because I thought Forest would be a bit more solid defensively, but clearly not. A goal for Hurst and a goal for Kajust for Ipswich. Assist for O'Shea and an assist for Clark. For Ipswich, goals for Forest from Elanga, 2. Milinkovic, 1. And Jota Silva, 1. With Anderson, Gibbs, White and Milinkovic getting assists. Great game for Milinkovic, by the way. Goal and assist to the defender as well. And in terms of the bonus points, 2 for Kajust, 3 for Elanga, and 1 for Milenkovic. Obviously, a little bit disappointed. I had Nico Williams in that. I thought against Ipswich, even though they're away, they'd probably just scrape a clean sheet, maybe get a goal or 2 against them. But hey, Ipswich getting 2, so well done to them. City versus Brighton, 2-2 was in the end for that one. A little surprised. I thought maybe City might win that one. Brighton scoring, but maybe a 2-1 jobby on that one. In the end, it ended up being Haaland goal and a Mamouche goal. There we go. Gundogan and Mamouche again with an assist. Estupinan with a goal and Hinshelwood with an assist, as did Jorginho Rota with an assist. Kuzanov with an OG. The bonus points then went 3 to Mamouche, my man, 2 to Gundogan, and 1 to Erling Haaland in that one. So very pleased about Mamouche. Southampton 1, Wolves 2. Anuchu getting his goal for Southampton and Diblin getting an assist. So that's 1 for those guys each. And then Strand Larsen getting 2 goals and Bellegrad getting 2 assists in this game. The bonus points went 2 to Anuchu, 3 to Strand Larsen, and 2 to Bellegrad in that one. Or Bellegarde, should I say. Bournemouth versus Brentford. A little disappointment in Bournemouth here. I thought they'd at least get a goal or a couple of goals in this game, but they didn't. In the end, Kirkes get the assist and Yalalay got the own goal for Bournemouth that got them the 1. But Brentford's goal came from Norgard 1 and Wisa with the other, and Buemo getting the assist. And that ended up being 3 bonus points for Norgard, 2 for Wisa, and 1 for Brian and Buemo. Good, because I brought Buemo in. And then Sunday's fixtures, Arsenal beat Chelsea by a goal to 0. Mikel Moreno getting the goal and Odegaard getting the assist. Chelsea getting nothing in this game. Timber getting 3 bonus points. Saliba getting 2 and Moreno getting 1. Good performance from Arsenal then. Solid, that's the best way to put it. Fulham against Spurs, quite surprised in this one. I really am. I didn't expect Fulham to destroy. I know Spurs aren't the greatest at the moment, but still, nonetheless, I expected Spurs to at least get a draw out of this one or a goal or 2 in this game. Munoz scored his, and Sessegnon scored in the 2-0 win against Spurs. Andreas Pereira getting the assist, and Bernd Leno, that's right, goalkeeper, getting the assist as well, which meant that Leonard got 3 bonus points, Mooney's got 2, and Robinson got 1 for Fulham, with Romero getting 1 for Spurs. And the final fixture, Leicester versus Manchester United. Manchester United destroying Leicester 3-0. As to most teams, unfortunately, Leicester are the whipping team this season. Goals from Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho and Højlund, with 2 assists from Bruno, and Dalot assist as well. Great performance of Bruno if you've got him in your team. 3 bonus points for Bruno Fernandes, rightly so. 2 for Dalot and 1 for Rasmus Højlund. So, 3-0 win. How did you guys do in game week 29? Well, I didn't do the greatest. I got 34, which I'm disappointed because I got less than the average of 40. Probably wouldn't have been the case had Cole Palmer actually played and not been ill or injured. I think is he injured? I think he's injured, isn't it? Yeah, he's got a muscle injury. At one point, I thought he was ill. Yes, he's got an injury. So in the end, I get 6 points for Raya for a clean sheet against Chelsea. 1 for Nico Williams because Forest conceded 2. Colwell conceded 1 but got a yellow card, so therefore only got me 1. Mikolenko got 2 against West Ham. Greaves got 0 because he was pulled off at half time. And against Nottingham Forest. I do hope that doesn't affect Greaves' minutes going forwards. Palmer, 0 because he was injured. Bergvall got 1 because he only played 45 minutes against Fulham. Surprised by that. Buemo got me 6 because he got an assist, didn't he, against Bournemouth when Yeri came on for 11 minutes. 1 to definitely go soon. Against Chelsea, Mamouche was my saviour this game week alongside Buemo and Raya, because Mamouche got me 12 with a goal and an assist against Brighton, and Wood didn't do good. Would not do good. No, he got me 2 points against Bournemouth, despite the fact that they scored 4. Is that something to worry about, Wood owners? Even though he got a hat-trick against Fiji the other day, we will see. Bench-wise, Fabianski got a 0 because he didn't play and doesn't play still for West Ham. Salah, Konate and Isak all benched because, don't forget, it was a blank game week in which the guys at Crystal Palace didn't have a game, Villa didn't have a game, Liverpool and Newcastle battled it out in that Carabao Cup, and I'm pleased to say that Newcastle won. Very happy for those guys. I did secretly want them to win. I say secretly, I put it on X that I wanted them to win. But yes, I'm really happy that Newcastle won the Carabao Cup. So that takes us into really quickly looking at the changes. So Rashford has gone down in price. A few days ago, I'm not sure if you guys are monitoring, but Cole Palmer also went down in price. I've held him because I think he's going to come good. I really do. And when he does, he'll rock it. People will fall over themselves to get Cole Palmer back in, despite being warm Palmer right now, not cold Palmer. Price predictor-wise, there's a couple of players that are going to go up within the next 2 days or so. Minter, Sade, Ismail Assar at Crystal Palace, Konate, Pickford potentially going up, Verbruggen going up, potentially Isak going up, Semenyo, Delap, Kluivert, Collins. There's a few players that are going to go up. In terms of going down, let's have a little look. Yarmouk, Dunk, Justin, Konza, Mateta, Chaplin. I did Trent on here at one point as well. Van der Berg, Anderson, Emerson potentially going down. There he is. Chandra Arnold potentially going down tonight, but he's injured. King over at Wolves, McNeil, Onana, Kiwior maybe going down as well. So keep an eye on this because it does show you roughly what's going to happen in terms of price increases and decreases. Now, we're going to talk about the main bit for the next few minutes. I'm going to give you an idea of, now this is not set in stone, but I'm going to give you an idea of my plans for the next few game weeks. We'll go back to here so you guys can see what's going to happen. So in terms of chips, in terms of what I've got left, I don't know what boat you guys are in. Let me know if you're in the same position or your plans at the end. I do have a question about it in the chat, which I'll mention in a minute as well. In terms of chips, I've got all 4 chips left. So I've got my wild card, my second wild card, I've got bench boost, I've got a free hit, and I've got a triple captain. I don't have an assistant manager. I played that during that big game week that Liverpool had, that never-ending one that ended up being 5 for 3 when we had Arne Slot. Probably should have played around with that, but didn't want to waste transfers. Could have done Moyes at the beginning and then Emery or something, and then Slot in between. But no, I went with Slot for the whole thing and got some decent points. A lot of people played triple captain on Salah. Well done. You got great points from Mo Salah during that time. Perhaps would have been worth it versus the Slot assistant manager. But hey ho. So in terms of my intentions, my plans going forwards, second wild card, I've got that. That's the first thing to play. That will be played probably as it stands right this second, either this game week or next game week. Haven't decided yet. I still have till the 1st of April, which is a long, long time away to decide for game week 30. If not, I've got until the 5th of April to play it for the Saturday fixtures there. So either Tuesday or Saturday. One of those two will be the deciding factor. The big decision really will be what happens in the FA Cup quarter-final, because the FA Cup quarters are started and they'll be completed by that particular point. Then the fixtures become more clear. We'll see who is blanking, etc., and who's doubling in the game weeks coming up. So as you can see, my intentions really is to play that wild card, either this week, come up to game week 30, or game week 31, which will be the week after. It might be that I'll wait for game week 30 to pass and then bring in place. But a lot of that might be dependent on price changes, because I don't want to be priced out of big players and big sort of teams in terms of their prices. So I will be keeping an eye. I also don't want my prices to drop on my players too much, because if I'm going to start messing around and doing a bit of surgery on the team, I need to know that I've got the money to work with and not constantly keep losing. The only player who's trickling money right this second is Cole Palmer, who I might well keep, but we will see. Next up, bench boosting. Now, bench boosting, every year, every sort of season, every time I do fantasy, I'm a bit sort of loose with chips. I'm not too fussed. I play them when I think it's the right time. I don't strategically play them entirely. Triple captain I usually pick if there's a double game week. Bench boost I'll pick just to get rid of it at some point when I know I've got 3 outfield and 1 goalkeeper playing at that particular point. And as free hit, I would always play that whenever there was a blank game week. That was it. That was the strategy. It wasn't about maximising points or getting the best players or the best teams for that build up towards the end of the season. It was never that. For the past few seasons, though, last season or two, and this season especially, I'm looking more at strategy. I'm looking at how I'm going to control that side of things, really. And the way in which I'm doing it, as you can tell, is I've already planned it. I've written it down. I've sort of given myself an idea, a rough idea of what I'm going to do. So wildcard is this game week or next game week. Bench boost, my plan is to pick that for either game week 33. So we'll go for that now so you can see. Or 36. So this one or this one. So that's the 10th of May, or it'll be the 19th of April. The reason being, I want to see which one has the best double game week if that happens. So obviously after the FA Cup quarterfinals, which are coming up, we will know exactly who will be blanket, who will be double game week, and which double game week will be the best. And that's the key really with that side of things. So that's my intention really for the bench boosting. Bench boosting, I need to get players in for a start that are going to constantly play. I do have a set of players on the bench that are there in this team right now that will play apart from Fabianski, because obviously he's being kicked out of West Ham's first team. That might be something that I change in terms of bringing in maybe Areola or someone like that at a cheap price that I know constantly starts for their team, just so I have a starting goalkeeper on the bench. What I don't want is 2 massive goalkeepers and then have to try and get rid of them down the line because they're worth so much money or they take up so much of my transfer budget, really. I don't want that. I don't want all of my cash spent on the bench, really. So even when I wildcard and even when I bring in these players, I'll make sure that I'm clever with the bench. So I have a set of 4 players, 3 outfield, 1 goalkeeper that are playing for their team. And as I said a minute ago, Areola might be the man to go for at West Ham because Fabianski's out of the picture at the moment. So that's the intention in terms of bench boosting game week 33 or game week 36. Again, a lot of this is keeping an eye on what's going on with the FA Cup, working out from that best time to wildcard, best players to bring in for the wildcard, and then bench boost on 33 or 36, depending on which one's got the best double game week. So then we move on to free hit. Free hit, obviously swapping the whole team out for a game week. That itself, again, will depend on blanks. Which game week has the worst blank? As it stands right this second, and rumours suggest that 34 is going to be potentially a blank game week, it might be that I have a look at this game week and play it there. There's some interesting fixtures in this one, not easy games. Really look at Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. That's not an easy game for Arsenal. Liverpool, Spurs, they're a bit of a bogey team for Liverpool, aren't they, as well? Liverpool are a bit up and down at the moment, especially with the loss against Paris Saint-Germain and losing the cup final as well. We'll see how they bounce back. City versus Villa, that's a tricky one for both teams, and I think there'll be goals in both that game as well. Everton are doing okay. They've got Chelsea, so again, if you've got Colwell, I think there could be goals in that. Forest have Brentford, both of those teams scoring well. No real clean sheets going on at the moment for either of those two. So it's one of those, really. It's not the easiest. Brighton, West Ham is not an easy fixture. Bournemouth versus United, again, if you've got United assets, they might do well from an attacking point of view, but defensively, Bournemouth will score. So you can see what I'm thinking here. That might be the best game week to stack up on as many attackers as you can, really, for both teams. And then, get the odd defender on the cheap. So free hit looking more likely to be this game week if it ends up being a blank. So that game week is game week 34. So already we've got 3 chips potentially out of the way. Transfer for the wildcard transfers will be 30-31 game week. So this week or next game week. They come very thick and fast. You saw that game week. It goes from Tuesday straight to Saturday, 1st till the 5th of April. So keep an eye on that. It'll approach quickly and you'll think, oh my God, this is the game week as well. So second wild card coming up very, very soon. Obviously, I want to keep an eye on the FA Cup quarterfinals before I jump on what I'm going to do and who I'm going to bring in. Looks like I'm going to stack up a lot on Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Liverpool. A lot of those players will be coming into the team. They're potentially going to have a lot of double game weeks, maybe United, that kind of thing. So I'll be keeping an eye on who gets what from the FA Cup quarters. Bench boosting game week 33 or 36, so either side of this game week there, this one or this one, depends again on really which one's going to be the better, should we say, double game week in that sense. I will bring in bench boost players, hopefully not expensive, like I said, by the goalkeeper. Areola looks like the best bet, but if he doesn't have a double game week on 33 or 36, then I might look at someone else. 4.5 million being the max for my goalkeeper on the bench. Free hit we just spoke about a minute ago, that will be moved to 34. So I'm already doing 30-31 for the wild card, 33 or 36 for my bench boost, 34 for the blank. Maybe again, it depends on whether that becomes a big blank game week. If it does, 34 is my free hit, and then I'll have one final chip left. Triple captain. A lot of you guys may have played it already for Salah. Well done if you did. Some people might have played it for Haaland earlier on the season. Again, kind of well done if you did, because he did okay at the start of the season. He did the early Haaland. For me, it's looking like Alexander Isak is the way to go. He may have, he does have a double already, doesn't he? He's got a double coming up very soon again. So let's go to the particular game week. Here we go. Game week 32 is an option in my mind, really. He has an immediate, definite double game week here. He plays against Manchester United at home and home against Crystal Palace. 2 home fixtures. The problem with this game week, despite the fact that it's guaranteed double game week, is technically he might do okay against United, but Crystal Palace are not a team that you thump loads of goals against, really, are they? So you've got to be clever with this triple captain option, really. Maybe I'll play it there just because it's a guaranteed double game week. But, people, there is a chance that Isak might have yet another double, and even other teams might get double game week. Salah might get another one as well. So I might save for game week 36 instead, or 33 maybe. He might get something at 33 or 36, whereby he also has a potential Villa and Ipswich fixture as well. That, to me, is better than United versus Newcastle and the game against Crystal Palace. I just think Crystal Palace is a tricky one, even though they're away from home. Crystal Palace, and they're playing at St James's Park. Same goes for Man United there at St James's Park as well. It's just a bit of an odd one, really. Not much distance between Sunday and Wednesday as well. Could they rest or take Isak off early? That kind of thing. So maybe. So as it stands, like the second triple captain looks like it's either going to be this game week because it's a guaranteed double game week 32. Or it's a potential for whichever double game week that Newcastle potentially have that looks a little bit more clean. The Villa and the Ipswich potential double game week looks like a good one as well. That's 33 or 36. So just to go through my chip strategy, FYI, this is not set in stone. I'll make this crystal clear. So my plan really is to wildcard around about game week 30 or 31 to stack up for players going forwards. Then we go forwards to game week 32, where I may or may not play my triple captain. That will be Alexander Isak. If I do, I'm saying that straight off the bat. He's looking like the likely, plus he got a goal in the Carabao Cup. The guy is literally doing really well. Then we move over to game week 33. 33 could potentially be a double game week. If it is, it might be the game week in which I play either the triple captain or the bench boost. If I don't play it on 32 triple captain, it may be this game week. Depends again on Isak's fixtures and the double game week fixtures. If I don't play triple captain on game week 33, I will be playing bench boost potentially on this one. Then we move to 34. Game week 34 is going to potentially be a free hit. Again, it depends on the blanks. If the blanks are more extreme on game week 34, that will be the time to play it for me. Then we move over to game week 35, which will just be a general game week for me as it stands second. Game week 36, again, depends on what kind of game weeks, double game weeks we've got. If 36 looks like the best one, that'll be the time that I either bench boost or a triple captain. Okay. A lot of this, I'm being very loose with the way in which I'm looking at this right a second. Well, not too loose, because you can see it's one after another game weeks I'm going to be playing these chips, so I'm going to be firing them out one after another. But I'm being loose because we don't know until the FA Cup quarters has been done as to what the fixtures are going to be going forwards, really. Once these FA Cup quarters have gone and we know a better picture about what's going to happen in the next few game weeks, I can then start to plan a little bit more concretely. It's still a bit too open. The fixtures haven't been guaranteed and confirmed, so therefore we work with what we think might happen, really. So wildcard first. Potentially after that, maybe a triple captain on Isak against United and against Crystal Palace in his double fixture. Maybe not. We'll see. After that, we'll have game week 33. Game week 33, I'm looking at maybe bench boosting, possibly maybe even a triple captain, depends on the fixtures. If it's good, I'll decide at the time. Game week 34, we hit a free hit if it becomes a blank game week, which is looking likely. Then game week 35 becomes a regular game week. Any old game week going to 36 again, looking down the line with the fixtures. If game week 36 is decent for double game weeks, I might be looking at bench boost or triple captain and changing it to that point then. And then we move to 37. And 37 becomes a general game week, and 38 end of season. So last game weeks of the season. So really, hopefully I'll have a lot of players in the team that will still be playing, because we know that a lot of players like to pretend they're on the beach when we're on game week 37 and 38 because they've got nothing to play for, may not even start for their team. So, it's one of those, really, get rested. So that's the plan. Game week 36 looks like the cutoff point for me. Is my plan to be the cutoff point in terms of using all my chips. By the time 36 comes around, I should have finished. That's it. All four, played, done, dusted. The wild card is the critical one, really, because I am using that to build players up for the next few game weeks, really. Obviously, I'll have transfers. I'll have a free hit inside there as well that I can use to sort of bring in players in emergencies if there's any injuries. But as it stands this second, that is the plan, to maximise all of these chips as much as possible for the next few game weeks, really. Wildcard is on the cards first, stacking up on players that will be potentially double game weeking, really. And we'll have some really juicy fixtures towards the end of the season. I'm very much looking at the fixtures and the difficulty levels of those fixtures for the players when I bring them in as well. But my sole focus right this second is making sure I stack up on players for that double game weeks that are coming up, okay? So keep an eye on those. If you've got all your chips left, let me know. Be interested to see what your strategy is. Wildcard, bench boost. No, so wildcard, maybe triple captain, bench boost, and then free hit for me. And then we're good for the rest of the season, then for the final few game weeks. So let me know what your strategy and plans are. I did have a question come in DMs. You guys really should start messaging me on YouTube or on X especially, so I can get them out there. But in general, another person asked why I haven't wildcarded already. A lot of teams themselves, and that was from Steve, thanks Steve. A lot of teams themselves have, I guess, needed more surgery than mine did. But I get what I've been doing. I tried to be clever this game week, as you can see. I made transfer just so I could get a starting 11. I didn't end up with a starting 11, believe it or not, because Palmer let me down, and Greaves obviously got a 0 because he got pulled at half time. But in general, I've been using transfers. A lot of people say they like gold to start their really transfers. Keep them. You never know when you're going to need them because of injuries and all that kind of thing. I didn't know that Cole Palmer was going to be injured first and foremost. He wasn't flagged before the game week started, I don't think. So, I kept him in the team, expecting him to play. He was vice captain, even that's how much I trusted and expected him to play, really. So I've been using transfers to really navigate a lot of things. I've been saving up, 3, 4, 5 transfers, 3 or 4 transfers to use, not in one, but to slowly trickle one here, one there, and to sort of fix the team, but not do surgery on the team, really. A lot of people have been, basically a lot of people played that wild card when it came out in January, February time, maybe, to bring in players because it had such extreme problems. I had problems, and I'm playing it my way, I suppose. That's why I'm saying this. I'm looking at the best players and getting for cheaper, basically the most amount of money, maximising the team. So you look at Palmer, he's going to be great. I've got enough in the bank, and I've been doing this for a while. I will have enough in bank soon to bring in Bukayo Saka. He is my focus. I've said this before. Bukayo Saka into this team now and taking out Nwaneri, tell me that's not a good team, really. With Nico Williams, either Colwell or Mikolenko in defence, and then Konate, those three in defence with Raya in goal, and then in midfield Palmer, Mbeumo, Saka, and Salah. No? Not a good four in midfield, no? And then up front, Mamouche, Wood, and Isak. I mean, come on, that's not too bad, really. You stick that team out, maybe my defence could be a little bit better. But Nico Williams is Forest asset. Forest are doing quite well. Colwell and Mikolenko is a bit of a sort of, it's a bit of a wild option, really. Again, my intention actually is probably to get rid of both of those and bring in Newcastle's Burn. I do like Dan Burn or Richards over at Crystal Palace. So, my team might end up Nico Williams, Burn or Richards, and then Konate in defence. I mean, that's decent in my opinion. Raya in goal doing the Arsenal coverage. And then midfield is stacked. And Mamouche, Wood, and Isak. Not bad front three, really, for this season especially. So, that's my team going forward, potentially, if I was to carry on playing the way I am now. So there you go. That's basically my answer. My answer is I didn't need to wildcard. As you can see already with my plans and my intentions of wildcarding very soon, I will be playing it, don't worry. But I'm playing it this season and last season to maximise the most out of my team and to get the most out of that chip, really, and to get the most out of the chips going forwards. Because once I've played it, that's it. It's gone. I need to think about game week 36, 33, 34, blanks, things like that. So, yes. And also, more importantly, a lot of people laugh. But what about game week 37 and 38? The last two games of the season, you don't want to end up with players that are just going to play 10 minutes, 45 minutes, subbed off and rested. That's going to be a major aggro for you, really. So you need to think about that going forwards as well. So very much looking to strategically play my chips. Wildcard will be very much this game week and next game. But that's not a right or wrong answer. You can play it whenever you want. You've clearly played yours already. So it'd be interesting to know what you did. Let me know if it's made a difference as well to your team. But from my perspective, I plan to play it this game week or next game week to get the maximum out of it once I've seen those FA Cup quarter-final results. If you've got any more questions, though, pop them to me, let me know. We are obviously international break right this second, so there is no fixtures Premier League-wise. It is more just hoping and praying that your players don't come back injured in your team. Otherwise, you've got to start messing about with transfers, which you didn't really plan to do. So, enjoy, guys. I hope you enjoyed this particular part. It's been FPL Part 42. I'll be back next week, hopefully when we can talk more about the next game week coming up, so game week 30 coming up as well. I may or may not have played or started to play my wild card. I'll let you guys know on the day itself. But otherwise, I hope it's been useful, this particular session. It's not my usual part. Obviously, my parts usually are looking at the fixtures, the results in that previous game week, my plans for the next game week as well, how many points I got, those kind of things, and then getting you guys to relay back your points. But this game week is international break. Therefore, we have a bit of downtime, we have a bit of low time, and we talk more about wildcards and strategies. And that is exactly what this game week is all about. So, wildcard first, potentially triple captain 32, and then maybe looking at a bench boost and a free hit after that. But again, FA Cup quarterfinals, that's the big one to keep an eye on, guys. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. You've been awesome. I'm on X, A_J_P84 _8_5. I am on Facebook, AJ85-channel. I am on Twitch, A_J_P_8_5. And I am on YouTube, which is where all these videos go at the end, AJ Hardy 85. Thanks for watching as always. Like, subscribe, and follow. But otherwise, you great people, I will see you fantastic people next Saturday at 8:45 on the dot. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. Take care of yourself.